Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Before we dive into today's incredible story, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our deep dives into the world's biggest empires. Now, let's get into the video. In 1997, Apple was just 90 days away from total bankruptcy. It was a dying computer company bleeding cash, written off by Wall Street, and publicly mocked by its competitors. In fact, Michael Dell, the founder of Dell Computers, famously said that if he were in charge of Apple, he would shut it down and give the money back to the shareholders. Fast forward to today, and Apple has completely flipped the script. It stands as the most valuable company in human history, boasting a staggering valuation of over $3.5 trillion. To put that into perspective, Apple is worth more than the entire annual gross domestic product of economic powerhouses like the United Kingdom, France, or Canada. How did a company that started in a suburban California garage pull off the greatest corporate turnaround in business history? It wasn't just a stroke of luck, and it wasn't simply about making great phones. It was a masterclass in consumer psychology, aggressive supply chain dominance, and a brilliantly engineered economic trap. This is the untold story of how Apple conquered the world. To truly understand Apple's massive success, we first have to examine its absolute lowest point. In the mid-1990s, Apple was a sinking ship. Years prior, the board of directors had made the catastrophic decision to fire its own visionary co-founder, Steve Jobs. Without Jobs, Apple lost its identity and its way. The company began pumping out dozens of confusing, overpriced products, from bad printers to failed handheld digital assistants like the Apple Newton. They were losing billions of dollars, their market share was rapidly skyrocketing down to less than 5%, and Microsoft's Windows operating system was completely dominating the global personal computer market. When a humbled Apple board brought Steve Jobs back as CEO in 1997, he immediately realized they needed a miracle. So, he did something completely unthinkable at the time. He called his fiercest and most bitter rival, Bill Gates. In a historic move that shocked the tech world, Microsoft ended up investing $150 million into Apple just to keep it afloat. With this crucial financial lifeline secured, Jobs did what he did best: he ruthlessly simplified. He slashed 70% of Apple's chaotic product line, firing entire teams to focus on just 4 core products. Soon after, Apple released the colorful, translucent iMac G3. It was an instant global phenomenon. For the first time, Apple proved to the world that computers didn't have to be ugly, boring beige boxes. They could be high-tech pieces of art. But Apple didn't become a multi-trillion-dollar giant just by selling desktop computers to creative professionals. They achieved global dominance by disrupting entirely new industries through 3 massive, consecutive waves of pure innovation. First, in 2001, came the iPod. Apple did not actually invent the MP3 player, but they were the first to make it incredibly cool, simple, and capable of holding 1,000 songs in your pocket. Crucially, they combined the hardware with the iTunes Store, which completely revolutionized how the global music industry operated and how consumers legally bought music. Then came 2007, the ultimate turning point of modern technological history. Steve Jobs stood on a stage in San Francisco and introduced the first iPhone. He pitched it as 3 separate devices in one, a widescreen iPod with touch controls, a revolutionary mobile phone, and a breakthrough internet communicator.